My everyday makeup routine, probably like you, tends to change from season to season. So since we are kind of in the spring going into summer season, I am switching up and doing a little bit more cream contour. So for now, this is my current makeup routine, my everyday makeup routine. I'll share all my products and just show you what I do on a daily basis. I use this Estee Lauder Double Wear all the time, no matter what season it is. And then I use my IT Cosmetics foundation brush. This is a very full coverage foundation, which I really like because I do want it to cover up blemishes. That's why I'm wearing the full coverage foundation. But it still lets my skin breathe. It still lets my skin look like skin, and you can build the coverage. So I just did a thin layer. You can see it already really added a ton of coverage. But if I wanted to make it even more, I could put more on and just build that up. So I personally love this foundation. This is kind of around that time of year where I start doing cream contour again. It adds a few extra minutes to my routine, but it's nothing crazy, and I love the way it looks. So I used my two-sided IT Cosmetics brush. This is the side I use for the bronzing contour, and this is the one that I use for the highlighting contour. I'm applying the contour color where my cheekbone is. So underneath that cheekbone where you really want to chisel it out is where I'm just going to press lightly and blend that contour color into my cheekbone. And then I'll squeeze the brush and blend a little contour on the bridge of my nose. And after I've done that, I blend a little bit into my forehead. Now you can see it built up a little bit of color, and I like to use cream contour as a base for the rest of my powders. So I don't want anything to look too chiseled. I just want it to have a nice warmth. I'm going to take a little bit of my contour color and blend it down my neck. I take this small little end of my dual brush, which this is the best brush ever. I love it. And I just take the cream contour, the lighter color, the highlight color, and I add a little bit underneath my eyes to brighten that up. I add the lighter highlight color, not contour color, I guess it's, yeah, considered contour too, to the high points of my face. So where you're going to put highlighter, and here they are. So it's my chin, right above my lip, my nose, under my eyes, and a little on my forehead. Once I have all of this highlight on, I just take my foundation brush that I use to put my foundation on and blend that out. Everything is blended out, and I love this contour palette. It's the Cream Cover FX contour palette. Everything is very light. It doesn't feel so thick on my skin, and I love that it's easy to blend. There are a lot of contour palettes out there that are not easy to blend, and so if you are wanting to try cream contour, this is a really, really great product to give a try. Okay, for concealer, I'm using the Born This Way Multi-Sculpt Concealer, and I don't love it and I don't hate it. It works well, it does the job. I don't think I have the correct color, which is probably why I'm not in love with it, but it works really, really well, and to be honest, I'm out of the Tarte Shape Tape, which I usually use, but I'm not gonna go and buy something if I have other products to go through. So I just add a few little dots around, and I'm taking my same foundation brush and blending out my concealer. And I use my same foundation brush, which you're gonna see this a lot. I use this foundation brush for everything. This is the IT Cosmetics Radiant Foundation. And right before I put my setting powder on, I make sure to kind of iron out the creases that are under my eyes, so I get a few pats in before I put my setting powder on. I'm using the Kat Von D translucent finishing powder, and I pat that under my eyes to make sure that my concealer doesn't crease, and then just blend it out. I don't use a lot. This is a thick powder and you don't need to use a ton. And then I'm also going to add setting powder underneath my cheekbone so that I can set my foundation and make sure the contour color doesn't move. And then what's ever left on my brush, I just go ahead and pat around my face so that everything is nice and set and won't move throughout the day. And when I'm being a little extra, I use my MAC Studio Fix powder. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and swirl this in the powder a little bit. And I'm going to pat some powder where I just put the highlighter and or the foundation and the concealer. I am highlighter obsessed. So I'm using my favorite. This is the MAC Hyper Real Glow highlight palette. And I think this is in the pink shade. I just take this tiny little Real Techniques brush and I always start on my nose and chin, and I just kind of work my way through the high points of my face and really start to just highlight those and give them a little bit of character. I love highlighter. I think it's one of the best makeup products out there. It can really just make your look go from 0 to 60 so fast. So if you're looking for a highlight palette, I would highly suggest this MAC Hyper Real Glow palette. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer I have been using for years. So I'm just going to use a fluffy brush, and since I've already contoured, I don't really feel the need to chisel out with this color. So I'm really just going to warm up my face and go from there. With bronzer, I work with the rule of 3. So you get your forehead, you get your cheekbone, and then your jawline. So if you're ever confused, where the heck do I put bronzer? Do the 3. So you do the forehead, the cheek, and the jawline. Again, I'm going to take my bronzer and just warm up my forehead a little bit. Bring what's ever left on my brush down to my cheek and blend that on my jawline. And never forget to bronze your neck, please. For blush, I use this as eyeshadow and blush. This is the Harmony blush from MAC, and I just use a tiny little brush, nothing crazy, and just pat a little bit of that blush onto my cheeks. So my face is done, and I will do eyebrows now. I'm just going to take my spoolie, and you can get this at shopylash.com, and I'm just going to clean off my eyebrows from all the makeup and powder that got in them. I use a brow pencil right now, so I'll show you how I use that. I always start by filling my brows in from the bottom because that is the easiest spot to clean up, and you can easily make mistakes and not worry about them looking too sharp. So I build a little bit of shape at the bottom, and then I just start blending that color into my eyebrows. I feel like eyebrows, less is more. Less is totally more. So fill them in just a little bit and you'll be good. So moving on to eyeshadow, I use this quad palette that I designed years ago from MAC. My 2 go-to colors are All That Glitters in Tint from MAC, and then I just blend those 2 together with my Morphe M441 brush. And all I do is take my brush and honestly blend this over my whole lid and crease of my eye. I don't feel like I need a structured eyeshadow look for every day, so I'd rather do a really shimmery, pretty, light, neutral eye that almost doesn't look like I'm wearing eyeshadow but still adds a good amount of depth. So what I do now is just take a little bit of the Tint a la Tint color on my finger, and I use just a little handheld mirror and look up, and I add a little bit to my bottom lash line. I am going to put on false lashes, so I'm going to use a little bit of mascara, and this is the Benefit Roller Lash. I'm not a huge mascara girl because I do always wear false lashes, so this mascara is great. For lashes today, I'm going to wear the Grace Lash, and those are from my line from shopylash.com. You can get them at shopylash.com, and they are gorgeous. I just added a little glue to my lash band and let that get tacky for about 20 seconds. And I'm going to take a compact mirror, and with my lash applicator, I'm going to look down into my mirror. And then once I have it just sitting on my lash line, I just use my applicator to kind of push it into place. And once I have it on, I take my fingers and just pinch down so that my lash is nice and secure. I'm going to take my next lash and using my lash applicator, place it on the base of my lash line and shimmy that lash just right into place. If you need a in-depth lash tutorial, go on shopylash.com or my YouTube, Instagram, and I have tons of in-depth lash tutorials. To finish off this look, I'm going to use my MAC Boldly Bare lip liner and give some life to my lips. My go-to lipstick is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Stockholm, and I have probably purchased 10 of these, and I use it until the bottle is empty. And then I use the MAC, MAC Myth lipstick, and I put it right in the middle of my lips to kind of highlight and intensify the cream nude lipstick that I already have on. So that's it. That's my everyday makeup. It's pretty simple. I have this down to about 15 to 20 minutes. I use the same products. I've been using the same products for years, and when I find something I like, I just stick to it. I think it's super fun to learn about new products and new routines and implement them in your own makeup routine. So hopefully you learned some new products and you learned about some new routines and you can try those out. So thank you for watching.